All right, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachaha, Kodash. I want to give double honors to that apostle, and that is a great millstone who rule well and teach well. Peace and blessing to you, sincere Akim, that are pushing this truth all over the four corners of the earth, week in and week out, in all truth and sincerity. This is the brother Mattathiah from the GMS Virginia camp, coming to you through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Yahweh being the true, holy, powerful name of the Heavenly Father. Yahweh Shai being the true, holy, powerful name of his only begotten Son, who the world English calls Jesus Christ. Bahashem is in the name, Lord willing, this will be edifying lesson. I want to do a response to the elder from Vegas, Elder Karatazah. His title of his channel is GMS Vegas Sit Downs 144 Ga GA. Title of his video is Myron from the Fresh and Fit proves he's not one of us and the curses are real. And you know, I've been saying this for a while, you know, and as well as, you know, some of the brothers from our camp that, you know, Myron, you know, is a heathen. You know, he's not a Jake, he's not an Israelite. Okay, and it's showing forth more and more that he is a heathen. And you know, which further proves it is this video that the elder uploaded, which I'm gonna play a little bit of, and I'm gonna stop it periodically to go into some scriptures. All right, so without further ado, let's jump right into it. And I'll leave the link in the description box of this video. You know, watch, subscribe, and be edified. All right, without further ado, let's jump right into it.
Seconds to just make my point here. This entire argument is ridiculous, and I'm going to say why. We're talking about the United States of America. Everyone has opportunity here. Whether people want to go ahead and say, oh, well, I'm victimized and I can't have the same opportunities because of the color of my skin, I think that's a bunch of bullshit. It's up to you if you're going to become successful or not. Whether you come here as an immigrant or you're born here as a foundation of Black American, it doesn't matter. You got to go out there and fucking work. The color of your skin is no longer, hold on, the color of your skin is no.
And that's true to an extent, but, you know, there's different stipulations set up, okay, for different, you know, categories of people. You know, just everybody going out and working hard is not going to achieve the same thing on the same level as, you know, the people that are striving for the same goal, all right? You know, these heathens working hard, and you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans working hard, these heathens are going to be at a further point than you, and they're not going to have to go through the same route, the same course, the same maze, so to speak, as you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans do, all right? You know, there's all type of avenues, there's all type of grants, loans, programs, and knowledge that is given to these other nations that, yeah, they have just come over here and you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans have been over here longer than them, but Esau has set up these other nations in a particular way that they can jump past you fairly quickly, okay? And this is all part of these wicked elites' agendas. You know, these other nations are, you know, licking our sores. Okay, let's get that real quick. All right, this is Luke chapter 16. Let's start in verse 19. It says, and there was a certain rich man which was clothed in purple and fine linen and fared sumptuously every day. And there was a certain beggar named Lazarus, which was laid at his gate full of sores and desiring to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table. Moreover, the dogs came and licked his sores, okay? You know, and these dogs are these other nations, man, and that's what you see going on today. These other nations are profiting off of the downfall, the destruction, the demise of you Israelites, okay? They're profiting out. That's why you see them being set up in a certain way amongst your communities. You know, the very communities that you've lived in for years and years and years. These other nations are being set up in your communities concerning these different stores, these different gas stations, these different shops, Okay, these different places of business that predominantly you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans go to. Okay, and it's not that these other nations necessarily want to be amongst you Israelites and your community selling to you and profiting off you. It's these wicked elites has set it up and established it for that's the only avenue and the only path that they can go through and achieve success, man. Esau set it up to where if other nations want to come over here and profit and make money, you can't just do it anywhere. All right, we're not going to just allow you to go anywhere in America and be granted these loans in different establishments. There's a certain areas that you're uh, prescribed and pushed to set up these businesses, and they're predominantly Jake areas. Okay, you don't see Ishmael, you don't see the so-called Chinese heavily amongst these predominantly Edomite areas and neighborhoods. Okay, now you do see it, but not on the level that you see it when you go against these, go into these very, very poor stricken areas where predominantly, Jake resides. Okay, let's continue on.
No longer a valid excuse to say that you're being oppressed by the man or whatever it may be, whether you're black as fuck from Africa or you're foundation.
And see, and they want a brown face just like you to say that kind of shit, right? And that's why we don't want you to
again,
right?
Yo, shut the fuck up when I'm talking, man. Like you're here as a fucking, you're here as a guest, so shut the fuck up.
Myron, you ain't even built like that, bitch. You got a bad over.
Okay, anyway, like I was saying, fucking clown. I don't even know why he's talking. So, like I was saying, you guys are going ahead and saying that the problems stem because of race. I'm saying that the problems stem because of stupidity. If you deserve to be successful and you work hard, you will get it. Your skin color has nothing to do with that. Okay? That's all I'm saying.
And again, that's why
and to defeat that, if we're saying that to defeat that.
Yeah, and see, Myron from Fresh and Fit, he doesn't understand the curses, and through the spirit, I believe he's a heathen. Okay, so really, he's not feeling the curses, so that's why ultimately he doesn't understand the curses. Okay, that's why he can say, things like all you got to do is work hard, and if you deserve it, you'll achieve it and you'll get it. Okay, well, all you got to do is go talk to these niggas in Hollywood. All right, and if they really could tell you, all right, they would tell you that that's not the case, that they worked hard, but there's a whole lot of different doors amongst that maze that they're walking through that some of them actually did have to go through or did choose to go through. I'll say that. Okay, because you're going to reach a level of success, or I should say you're going to reach a ceiling. Okay, you're going to hit a ceiling in your strive for success. And you're going to come to a pathway where you can go through the left door or the right door. Okay, and the right door is to achieve more success, okay, more riches, more wealth, more fame. And that left door is, hey, that's the route where you're gonna have to work very, very hard, and you very well, more than likely, will not go any further than where you're at currently, and most likely you're gonna go down. Okay, because you're not gonna get the promotion. You're not going to get the fame, the stardom. You're not going to be able to get on these various different platforms, because that's what it's about. It's about the platforms. It's about the being promoted, okay, for you to reach stardom in Hollywood, because our people don't own any of these platforms. They don't own the news. They don't own these TV shows, okay? They don't own the internet, all right? They don't own MTV, BET. They don't own the charts, okay? So for order them to get to that level, they have to be promoted on that level. And that's what Jake doesn't understand, man. Okay, like the scripture says, man, we have to, in the curses of Deuteronomy, we have to, in the want of all things. As a matter of fact, let's get that real quick. This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 48. It says, "Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things." Okay, So in the want of all things, you want to pursue a career, you want to pursue a job, you want to get a loan, you want to become successful. All right, you want to do this, you want to do that. You got to come before the so-called white man. All right, and the so-called white man is not giving you and setting you up like he's setting these other nations up. All right, when these other nations come before Esau, Edom, and come over here to America, you know, they're set up in a speed program. You know, they're set up very nice, very, very quickly. Okay. You know, they're automatically start out with a certain credit score. They're automatically given certain loans, certain grants. Okay. Hey, for you Israelites, it don't matter what your credit score is. You know, a lot of loans and a lot of grants you're just not getting. Okay. But these other nations are able to get these particular loans, and they're able to get these grants and given buildings and given businesses, as long as they go according to what you know, Esau's guidelines are. All right, that's why you see these different gook shops and places, and Ishmael and these other nations as well, amongst the hoods, the ghettos, the projects. Okay, and even these little bit nicer communities that predominantly you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans reside at. All right.
With that logic, and I always go back to your homeland. If it's all about being stupid and not race, are you saying everybody from the Sudan is stupid because they got oppressed and their homeland has failed because they didn't build it?
I'm talking about the United States of America. I find it interesting that you always bring it back. That logic should apply anywhere.
You always bring it back. Stupidity is not just in the United States, sir. Stupidity is stupidity no matter where it is. And that logic should apply to your
have
homeland.
different opportunities in different lands. That's actually
hold on.
You have different
because let me tell you why the stupidity matters where you are, Tariq. Because I'll tell you why. Because in the United States of America, you get a free education. You're in a first world country where you have running water and electricity. And if you don't have that, you can go ahead and get welfare. So everyone has an enormous amount of opportunity in the United States compared to other third world countries. So what I'm saying is this. If someone comes here with $1 in their fucking pocket and can't speak the English language and finds a way to become a millionaire or become successful, guess what? They did a lot better than a foundationally black American that was born and raised here, that knew the language, that's going to sit there and complain. Hold on, let me finish my point. Let me finish my point. Let me just finish what I'm saying. If someone comes here and doesn't even have a fucking green card and finds a way to get citizenship here, builds a business, makes a bunch of money, doesn't even speak the language, well, guess what? He did a lot better and is smarter than the foundationally black American that's crying about the system, saying, I'm being so oppressed, when he had the opportunity. This is where I have a problem. Because in this country, they weren't letting brown immigrants like you come over here for a long time. Do you understand that? This country was not letting African immigrants come over here. It was the foundational black Americans who worked hard and kicked ass in the 1960s and said, we're going to change the...
Yeah, and why is that? You know, it's because Jake was heavily being oppressed over here in America. Okay, when you go back years and years concerning, you know, being on the plantations, you know, the massacres of and killings of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You know, Esau was, you know, honing in and focused on Jake and basically building up America off the backs of the Israelites, you know, to where you see what America has become today off the strength, off the back of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. So there came a point when America became, you know, at least on a certain level, what, you know, these Edomites wanted it to be, in order to allow these other nations to come over and be given certain things to thrive, so to speak, man. Okay, you know, and that's what you know, a lot of these Israelites as well don't understand, man. You know, but especially these other nations. Okay, you know, Esau was doing all types of atrocities, all types of things to the Israelites that he didn't really want his business out there, man. He didn't want, you know, these other nations to witness, okay, you know, how this man gets down, all right, and also, you know, it kind of separated these other nations from falling into that category of being an Israelite as well. All right, because you know, you coming over with a similar skin complexion in that time, you very well would have been thrown in the pack of Israelites and would have served out captivity as well. Okay.
These laws to let these brothers and sisters over here. So when you come over here and say that, yeah, we over here now, we're so much smarter and better than those foundational Black Americans who actually were the ones fighting to get me over here, that's a very disrespectful mindset to have, and that's the problem that we're having now.
Yeah, fantastic. But the problem is this. You kicked the door in and then you stayed in the house and got comfortable. Meanwhile, these guys came into the house and decided, wow, there's a lot of opportunity here. It took the house over. That's what I'm trying to say.
You're not taking anything
I'm not shitting on
over. No, let's stop it. No, stop.
You like to use... Hold on.
What are you taking over? Okay, what are y'all taking over?
I let you speak. Tariq, I let you speak.
What are you taking over? Okay,
I let you speak.
What are you got to elaborate.
I let you speak.
What are you taking over?
Okay.
As a Sudanese immigrant, what are you taking over?
He's a student of Tommy.
Let me finish. If you would let me finish, then I can go ahead and elaborate the way that you want. But what I'm simply saying is, you're saying that you guys created an infrastructure for us to come over and be successful. Fantastic. Awesome. But what I'm saying is that if you create the infrastructure and then the people that come and immigrate that have less opportunity than you come over here and become successful, then you can't sit there and be like, well, you guys are ungrateful, blah, 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 blah. There are foundationally Black Americans that do fantastic. But my problem is this. Foundationally Black Americans tend to complain a lot about the system, right, that they've been able to enjoy for the better part of multiple decades and say, oh, my God, I'm so oppressed.
But, Myron, that's our privilege, Myron.
Hold on. Let me finish. Meanwhile, people come here from poor-ass countries that didn't have any opportunity, and they're like, wow, you're a bunch of fucking crybabies. And they become successful in the house that you built. That's what I'm saying.
Asian businesses got into the Black communities and what they actually do in the area of our particular wealth, but let's roll the clip.
Yes, this is really important. Asian Americans were redlined from opening businesses in white neighborhoods because white people didn't want Asian Americans operating in their neighborhoods and didn't want a...
Yeah, because Esau, Esau, you know, a lot of these Edomites have been to these wars. You know, they were in Vietnam War. Okay, they were in these various wars in these other lands. So they actually have a hatred, not on the same level as a hatred towards Jake, but they have a hatred towards you other nations as well. They don't like you so-called Chinese. They don't like you Ishmaelites, man. All right? They don't like the so-called Japanese. They don't like certain of you other nations because guess what? Their grandfather, their great-grandfather, and even them fought in wars where they were, not only taking casualties, but also inflicting great death upon these other nations, man. You know, so they don't want you in their communities, you know, at least not in the numbers like they are amongst Jake neighborhoods, man. You know, and I'm talking about concerning business establishments, man. You know.
Asian Americans profiting off of white people. But because the positionality of Asian Americans is weaponized to oppress Black people, Asian Americans were being given loans to open businesses in Black communities, even though Black people were not able to receive loans to open businesses in their own communities. And as I've said before, as a result of this, Black wealth is essentially paid out twice when it goes to Asian American businesses. Once when the individual pays for the goods or services, and then again when the Asian American business owner removes the...
Yeah, see, Esau wants you dependent on him. Okay, he doesn't want you to be able to, you know, come together, you know, organize yourselves, you know, establish something for yourself so where you don't have to come before him, which ultimately it goes back to the curses, okay? And these are the curses that the Most High Yahweh put upon us, and like the scripture says, which we're going to get into, this is a sign. This proves that we're the Israelites, All right, let's go to Deuteronomy 28, chapter in the 43rd verse. It says, the stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high. See, going back to, these other nations not being allowed over here on the level like today, until a certain point in time, Esau was trying to get that running start, okay, to a point where he was high above us. And there was nothing that we can do to fill that gap. Then he allowed these other nations to come over here. Okay? It says, the stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. And that's what we see today. Esau is very, very far above you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And there's nothing that reparations, a grant, a loan, okay, a business, or any amount of money can do for us to fill that gap and become on the same level as Esau, okay? And our people have a false sense that that can be achieved when that is not true, all right? Even Myron from Fresh and Fit, the statements that he's making, hey, at the end of the day, Myron, is once you get high enough in success, guess what? You're gonna have that. You're gonna go down that hallway, and you're gonna have an option to either go through door 1 or door 2. Okay, because Esau, hey, when you're really trying to achieve real success concerning, being a multi-millionaire, 500 million to the billionaire club, hey, you got to get down with the get down, man. All right, and that is set up not only for you Jakes, but for all these nations, and even Esau has set this up for his own people, man. You got these Edomites that are trying to achieve success that have to perform these different rituals, sacrifices, and ultimately bow down before this man. Okay? It says, verse 44, he shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy power Yahweh, to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee. So the Most High Yahweh put these curses upon us. Okay, we're being punished by the Most High. All right, it's like the scriptures in Baruch the 8th chapter. It says, we are yet this day in our captivity. We're still captives, even though, we're not in hardcore slavery. Okay, well, we're not getting whipped on the back and on the cotton field in the hot sun, but we're still in a form of slavery. You got to get up and work a 9 to 5. Okay, you got to follow certain things in society to even survive. Okay, and various different blockades have been set up in society against you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. All right, which it's obvious. All you have to do is look around you and see the poverty and see how things are set up against you Israelites, man. To the point where even Esau is pointing these things out, man. Okay, and like we always say, hey, just because you're dark skinned does not mean you're an Israelite, man. All right, those wheat and those tares works both ways. Okay, you're gonna have Jakes that look like these other nations. You're also going to have heathens that look like Jake. Okay? Let's read on. It says, verse 46, and they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. So this is a sign. All right? This proves, or I should say further proves, that we're the Israelites because we're under the curses. It says, verse 47, because thou servest not the Lord thy power, Yahweh, with joyfulness and with gladness of heart, for the abundance of all things. Therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. Verse 49, the Lord shall bring and the Israelites are destroyed, man. Okay, we're at the bottom of the bottom, man. This whole conversation with Myron and these other guys further proves that, you know, that Jake is completely destroyed, man. Because here it is, these other nations can come over here straight off a ship, straight off a boat, straight off a plane, and immediately look down upon you Israelites and be like, look at these people. And these other nations come from poor areas, some of them. You know, they come from areas that are, you know, they don't have a lot of the things that we have. Even the poor, you know, the very, very poor Jakes over here, man. Even these other nations that come off these planes and boats don't even have close to what you have. But they still look down upon you. They still looked at you like, oh my goodness, these are the people they was telling me about. Stay away from them. All right? It says, the Lord shall bring a nation against them from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand, a nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of old, nor show favor to the young. All right? You know, and Esau brought us over here on those through the Atlantic slave trade on those slave ships. Okay, and you know these other nations had a hand in all that. Okay, you know these other nations basically sold us over to Esau. Okay, and they had an aid in the destruction of the the Israelites, man, and that's why Esau ultimately is setting them up, okay? Because ultimately they're on Esau's side, okay? You know they're helping Esau, and they're not only helping Esau, but they're profiting off of the demise and the destruction and the poverty and oppression of you Israelites. All right, it says, verse 51, last verse. It says, He shall eat the fruit of thy cattle and the fruit of thy land until thou be destroyed, which also shall not. And this is part of that. You know, these other nations being set up in your communities. All right. You not be able to get no types of grants, no types of loans. The bank, and when the banks ain't fucking with you, there's no, you can't achieve success. Okay. On a business standpoint, on a business level. All right. It says, and he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle and the fruit of thy land until thou be destroyed, which also shall not leave thee either corn, wine, or oil, or increase of thy kind, or flocks of thy sheep, until he have destroyed thee. All right, let's play the rest of this video.
Profit from the community, because usually people open businesses in their own communities, and this is mutually beneficial, where the business owner is making a livelihood off of providing goods and services to their community, and by being a member of the community, they're contributing and they're investing back into the community. This is an ideal situation, and that is not what happens with Asian American businesses operating in Black communities.
And I actually want to read Elder's precept in the AMP version, Deuteronomy 28:33. And a people whom you do not know will eat the produce of your land and all the products of your labors, and you will never be anything but oppressed and exploited and crushed continually. Okay, and you know we're gonna go through this type of oppression, and we're gonna have these curses until ultimately these curses are taken off of us and put on our enemies, which is going to happen very, very soon. And in the kingdom, that's where we're going to truly live. We're truly going to have rest. We're truly going to enjoy life, because we're going to have that ultimate tool to enjoy life, which are these bodies. We're not going to get sick no more. We're not going to be oppressed. We're no longer ever going to be looked down upon by any nation. Moreover, these nations are going to be under us. They're going to be under our foot. They're going to be under our rule. And not only these Edomites, but all these other nations are going to pay for everything that they did to the Israelites. Okay? And that's what we're looking forward to. And that's what a lot of our people don't understand. Okay? Nor these other nations. These other nations don't understand this. I'm gonna read this. I'm gonna read this last precept on the screen and we can wrap it up. It's Deuteronomy 28:43 through 44 AMP version. The stranger who lives among you will rise above you higher and higher. Okay, Esau is constantly increasing, which is not his. He's constantly profiting off of the backs of you Israelites. This is a daily thing. It says, and you will go down lower and lower. He will lend to you, and our people think that they're rising up and getting stronger because they can have this type of job, or they can have a business or an establishment, or they have this amount of money in their bank account. But hey, if that's the case, and you're getting a little bit higher, well, guess what? Esau is far and beyond. All right, the little increase that you get, Esau is increasing, by a million. All right, for him to even allow you to have this and that, or whatever you've so-called attained. Okay, that just shows how high and high this devil is and is actually getting. All right, it says he will lend to you out of his affluence, but you will not lend to him because of your poverty. That's right. Our people don't have any type of banks. All right, we don't really own anything. We don't have no type of establishment, okay, where we can employ large masses of people. We don't have any type of establishment, okay, or I should say we don't have any type of influence on the earth. We don't have no military. We don't have no seat at the UN councils. We don't have no land. Okay? We don't have anything that we can stand upon as, being definitive. All right? And really, when you go down to it, all right, all we really have is Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, this wisdom, knowledge, and this truth. Okay, and of course, the brotherhood, man. All right, which not all of our people have. The majority of our people don't have this wisdom, knowledge, and truth. They've been blinded. Okay, and all they see is what's right here on the earth. A lot of our people are actually in the mindset of these heathens. Okay, where they have put all their faith and trust in America, and they believe that America and its philosophies are the only way out. Okay, they have no faith and trust in Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai because it wasn't imparted to them to have. All right, it says he will lend to you out of his affluence, but you will not lend to him because of your poverty. He will be the head and you the tail. All right, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. Bahashem Rchaha Kodash. I want to give double honors to the head apostle and elders, a great millstone, and rule well and teach well. Peace and blessing to you, sincere Hakim, that are pushing this truth all over the four corners of the earth, week in and week out, in all truth and sincerity. Till next time, shalom.